I have a good woman. I ain't good looking, but I do some cooking. I'm the old fat guy. So use that oven if you want some lovin'. Be like the old fat guy. Be like the old fat guy.
Welcome to another edition of You Can Make It with the Old Fat Guy. Today we're going to do something wonderful, Italian sausage. Now Italian sausage comes in two versions. There's sweet, which is not very spicy at all, and there's spicy. I'm going to make one that leans more towards the spicy version, but not really knock your head off. Just a little bit of heat, just the way I like it. So I'll be making spicy Italian sausage. Italian sausage gets the flavor mostly from the fennel or anise in it, which gives it a little bit of licorice flavor, but it also has some tart from some wine and some lemon juice and stuff, and I really think you're going to enjoy it. Of course, we're going to start with the key ingredient in all of our recipes here at You Can Make It. Copious quantities of wine taken internally. To make our Italian sausage, I bought what's called a pork butt steak. That's B-U-T-T. It's actually a cut of the shoulder of the cow, so it could also be known as a pork shoulder steak, depending on what part of the country you're in. But I'm going to take the butt steaks and pull one up and show you why we use the butt steak. If you're making any kind of sausage, it's important that you have a certain amount of fat in it. If you don't have enough fat, your sausage is almost inedible. It'll be just really rock hard. So you want to buy some pork that has some good fat on it. I'm just going to cut the bone out, cut it into 1-inch cubes, and then I'm going to weigh it. Once you've cubed the meat, it's really important that you weigh it. Mine weighs 1.2 kilograms. The reason you have to weigh it is because that's going to determine how much of the other ingredients you're going to use. One of the things about making sausage is that the meat has to stay cold. It just grinds better, mixes better, and gives a better texture sausage if you keep it cold through the whole process. So I want to make sure that the meat goes back in the fridge while I'm measuring my spices and other things. And I'm going to leave it in the fridge for at least half an hour. Also, I've got my mixing bowl and my stuffing device all outside where it's close to freezing, getting it cold too. I need to mix some spices together to get them ready to go in the Italian sausages. And I'm going to put a chart up with the amounts because it'll vary depending on how much meat you have. But the ingredients are kosher salt, ground pepper, coriander, garlic powder, paprika, cayenne, thyme, and oregano. I'm going to do a little bit of grinding for a couple of more and we'll get right to that. I also need to add some fennel and some bay leaves to the spice mixture I made, but they need to be ground up first. So I'm just going to start by breaking 3 bay leaves into the grinder, and that's for 1.2 kilograms. And I'm going to add my fennel, which are a whole seed, to the grinder as well. That's what gives Italian sausage the wonderful sort of licorice touch that it has. And then we're just going to put the lid on and give this a quick whirl up. It's not trying to make a powder. You just want to crack it up a bit. So you just want it to look, some of them whole, but mostly ground up, sort of like that. I put the stuff from the grinder and some powdered milk in with the other spices, and now I've got to add some liquid ingredients to it. We're going to start off with some lemon juice. Okay, which needs to be added. Okay, and after the lemon juice, we're going to add some corn syrup. If I can get it open, there we go. Oh, sweet. And some red wine. And last but not least, some cold water. And we're just going to stir that up into a slurry. And then we're going to let it sit while we grind the meat. I've hooked up my KitchenAid stand mixer with the grinder attachment with the medium plate. If you're not doing much, this is fine, or even the old hand crank style are fine for grinding your meat. If you're going to be doing a lot of meat though, I suggest you buy a dedicated grinder, but for the kilogram or so that I'm doing, this will be just fine. So we're just going to run the meat through the grinder. I've got the ground cold meat spread out over a tray here, and I have the slurry I made up of the spices and the liquid. So I just want to spread that slurry over the top of the meat. Once you've got it spread over the meat, now you're going to want to mix it. The way I find that I get the best mix is to take one edge and fold it over and press down, turn it a quarter turn, take one edge over and push it down, and I like to do this for about 5 minutes. I've been mixing the meat for 5 minutes, and you'll see it's got a nice sausagey sort of consistency to it. This is something your wife will really thank you for. When you do it, you just can't help to get meat all over the place. They even got some on the floor over there, which she referred to as good range. Once the meat is cold, once the meat is mixed, you want to get it cold again. So it's going to go back in the fridge for 30 minutes. But it gives you a chance to do something while chilling. One is, you want to do a fry test, which you want to take a little bit of it, make it into a patty, and we're going to fry it up to see if the seasonings are right. Now, it won't taste exactly the same as the finish because it takes a long time for the fennel mat to work its way through, but it'll give us an idea of the rough balance. The other thing you can do while the meat is chilling is clean up. Ground meat will stick like concrete if you let it sit. So while the meat's chilling, I'm going to be washing my grinders and the counters and doing my test fry. I heated up a fry pan with a bit of baking spray in it, and I've got a little patty of the Italian sausage that I'm going to do my fry test with, and we'll just throw it in and let it cook up. Because I pressed the fry patty pretty thin, it only took 4 or 5 minutes to cook through. Just split it in half to make sure it's cooked through, because it's just a test piece. Yep, nice, cooked all the way through. And we'll put it on our test plate. Nobody can say I'm coordinated. And turn the heat off and give it a try. This is going to be a great Italian sausage. I've chilled my sausage up, and you'll note I've set some aside just in bulk. You can use sausage in bulk to make meatloaves or meatballs or any way you want to use them. Or you can just make it into patties that you can fry up, but the classic way for Italian sausage is in casings. So I've set some aside for a dressing I'm doing for a turkey tomorrow, but the rest I'm going to stuff in collagen casings. We have here 32 millimeter collagen casings that we'll be stuffing these in. That's kind of the traditional size. So what we have to do first is put our sausage in our stuffing container. If you try and press it down, you get less air bubbles, and that's a good thing. And then we're going to take our stuffing container and put it in our stuffer. I've set it up backwards. Give me a moment. Now that I've got it turned around the right way that I can put my stuffer in it, we'll just put it in, and we'll start cranking this down so it doesn't flop around. There we go. Once that's in a bit, we're going to put our casings on the horn. It comes with different size horns. This is the right size for the 32 millimeter casing. It's just a matter of sliding it over the horn, which can be a little tricky to start, but once you've got it, you just start pulling it on. And leave yourself a couple of inches at the end. Just twist it up and tie it off so that the sausage just won't squirt out the end. Now, you're likely going to get a bit of air in this when you start stuffing it, so you need something sharp at hand because you want to pop it and get that air out. But we'll just start cranking our stuffer down. As I crank, you'll see some air started to come out. Just give it a little poke with something sharp and pull it back up. You don't want to overstuff it. You just want it to fill it up and make its own way out. Now you'll notice that I got a chair with a tray on it because she who must be obeyed, can't help me because she's shooting the picture. So we'll just use the chair to catch what's coming out of the stuffer. And when it's all stuffed in, just pull it off, and we'll just cut that off, and we'll make our sausage into links. So here's my Italian sausages laid out, and you want to look down for any air bubbles. There's a little one there. Just poke it with something sharp and let that air get out of there. And otherwise than that, it's pretty good. I didn't get a lot of air in this one. Okay, and now what you want to do is take a ruler, and every 6 inches, just give a little bit of a pinch. And then you can cut it off. And go down 6 inches, a little bit of a pinch, cut it off. And just keep doing that until you've used up all the sausage. So as you can see, they're all cut up nicely into links now, and they can be cooked or go in the freezer. Only one thing is, don't even try them until the next day. The herbs have to work their way throughout, and the flavor will change overnight. So give them at least a night to rest, and then you've got Italian sausages. We'll try them tomorrow. A day's gone by since I stuffed my Italian sausage into the casings, and I fried up a couple of patties from the meat that was left over after the stuffing so I can see how they taste after the spices have melded together. I'll just take a bite of my Italian sausage. Really nice, moist, good texture, nice hit from the fennel. It's definitely not as spicy as it was yesterday. It's mild out a bit. So as I say, I made what I call a spicy Italian sausage. If you like it really spicy, this isn't likely it, but it is a delicious Italian sausage with a touch of spice, and you can make it.
When dinner time gets near, and your wife has made it clear, it's your turn to cook, my dear. You have no need to fear. Make the dinner feast your spouse, bring peace into your house. You can make it. If you're lucky, she will say, life will be okay. Life will be okay. You can make it.